it public here. And then we'll be off. All right. I desperately need an aid for this stuff. So, should be good there. Hello. Okay, my name is Cassandra. And if you're new to Songwriter Sunday, welcome. If you've watched Songwriter Sunday before, thank you for coming back. So I started this almost 3 months ago, just as a fun creative experiment, and now it is my joy and honor to speak with creative songwriters every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Who did I forget? About the craft of songwriting, and then we do some listening to their original music and talk about life and songs and all that good stuff. So, and as usual, I'm gonna kick it off. I'm the opening set here. You're stuck with me for a cool 15, but then after that, I'm gonna get Dean Madonia. He's in Michigander now via Nashville. We're gonna get him up here on the screen to talk about his songs, to share a little bit about them, and possibly to talk about life and all that stuff too. So I'm so excited to have Dean on the show today. So, buckle your cute butts into your seats until 2:15, and we're gonna have a really cool conversation, no doubt. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna kick it off, I believe, with it's a political song, because I was happy to kind of interact with Dean about some politics stuff and on Twitter back in the day, and then kind of touched on it vaguely yesterday too. So my first song for today, this lovely Sunday afternoon here in Chicago, is called Trump's Private Dinner at the Kremlin, and it's a story-based conversation, kind of supposed to be funny. I don't know how funny it is anymore, but here it is for y'all. Hi, Claudia. Thank you for joining again. Good to see you there. Awesome. All right. For this most important of weeks, I have to do it. I won't be able to play these songs too much longer. He said, I'm losing control, as a fat bead of sweat rolled grotesquely to his chin. The people, they're talking, they're reading, they're feeling, and I knew exactly how he got in the state he was in. I said, Fury, don't worry, it's easy, believe me, don't fumble and fret like a fool. The people, they're stupid and easily frightened. You simply forgot the olden rule. Divide and conquer, divide and conquer. Make them hate each other and you'll never lose your tenure. Conquer, divide and conquer. Now here's some fairy dust and some whiskey for your chest to plan your concert. Crazy. He said, what if they find out I'm here? Then turn the cameras on, 'cause frankly I don't give a damn, my dear. What if they're angry and they come for me? We'll have them beaten to a pulp and gassed until they've had enough, and conquer, divide and conquer. Make them hate each other and you'll never lose your tenure. Conquer, divide and conquer. Now have a cup of tea. Here's a direct line to the KGB. And one more thing, turn off your emotions, it's annoying when they start screaming and pleading, and in the history books they'll be the looters and the crooks. So happy planning and sweet dreaming. Divide and conquer, divide to fret about. Give a call if you need someone taken out. Alright. Trump's private dinner at the Kremlin. So, we've done it. We've done the political song. We'll move on. No more political songs from me today. But like I said, they have an expiration date, I hope. So I'm sneaking them in. And I know Dean and I assume his friends and family who will be watching have similar views for all that too. So, hi Norm, hi Charlotte. Thank you for tuning in again today. Good to see you as well. Yeah, thanks Claudia. I've been mad this year. Been a little mad, you know. I gotta get it out. But no more. So, like I said, my second tune of the day is called That's Not Me. It's pretty new, and I'm sharing it again because I've entered into a very awesome and supportive writing relationship with another very cool Chicago songwriter named Robin West. I would check them out if I were you and hadn't done it already. So Robin and I have been kind of writing together and also workshopping each other's songs because we're very different creative brains. So this is my newest draft of a song called That's Not Me. So I'm going to do that. Again, we got Dean Madonia coming up at 2:15 Central Time, 3:15 Eastern Time. So hang tight. You're going to love him. He's like a pro songwriter. Like we're not worthy over here. So, like I said, just stay tuned a few more minutes with me. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in today. All right. Brand stinking new with new edits by Robin West. Look them up. They're very Googleable. That's Not Me. When I was 10, I spent my playground hours on a bench, trying one more time to find a friend. And now I've grown. My eyes have gotten clearer and now I know the folks you think are keepers leave you more alone. And so it seems I only show up when there's a need. I've had enough. What am I to you? A crying shoulder, a punching bag. You think that's me? That's not me. Free of charge. To anyone who asks, I give my heart. Now I'm running out of blood and I'm tired. So it seems you only show up when there's a need. I've had enough. What am I to you? A crying shoulder, a punching bag. You think that's me? That's not me. People say I have changed. They're right, I had to. I'm lonely and wide awake. It's morning. Friendship can't be faked. Look at all this hurt I'm holding. I am evaporating, and so it seems. You only show up when there's a need. I've had enough. So it seems. You only show up when there's a need. I've had enough. What am I to you? A crying shoulder, a punching bag. You think that's me? That's not me. That's not me. Written very, very recently with new lyric updates by my friend and now my co-writer, Robin West. So, hope you enjoyed that extremely sad new song I wrote. Or maybe it's not sad, I don't know. I just got a message from Dean. He's almost ready to go, or he is ready to go. I just have to finish out my set here. So stick around. We're just 5 minutes away from getting Dean Madonia up here. He's a Michigander. He actually was ED of the club where I started dueling pianos. We just kind of missed each other when I moved to Chicago. So we're kind of new friends, and we're kind of also old friends in a different sense. So I'm very excited to get him on screen today. He's done a ton of writing in Nashville. He's had songs placed in media. So he's legit, y'all. So do stick around for that. You must. I insist. Okay. Sad songs are done now. For my last song, I'm gonna do one that I do this one often. I know Charlotte likes this one, but I figured I'd end on kind of a happy note here. This is probably one of my most radio playable tunes, because I tend to write, you know, I was raised by like Fiona Apple and Tori Amos and stuff, you know, that's where I'm at. But Ben Folds, you know it. So this last tune I'm going to do is called All Life Long, and then we're going to get Dean on the screen to share his original music, talk songwriting, talk some shop, talk some life. He's had a crazy couple of years, I know, so there's a lot of really cool stuff I think we're going to get into today. All right, All Life Long. Bright lights, caught beneath the spotlight, all night, trying to get the vibe right. I'm dodging side glances when you think I'm distracted. I got violent butterflies, but I don't know the impact yet. I don't know. You gotta reclaim your time if you don't know what's happening. But I can tell by your twitch and your lean that you're thinking about action. I can be two people if you need a bit more. We can do this dance till we die, but I wish you were sure. I wish you were sure. We're getting too old for this now. So if you want to get close, you're gonna have to put your drink down, 'cause it's gonna take both hands to handle the truth. I've been waiting all life long just to do this with you, to be here with you. Touch hands, take me through the back door. Move fast, so we don't reconsider. Time's frozen now, but soon it will fly. So don't waste another moment waiting it out to decide. 'Cause we're getting too old for this now. So if you wanna get close, you're gonna have to put your drink down, 'cause it's gonna take both hands to handle the truth. I've been waiting all life long just to do this with you, to be here. Make up your mind, you know what it is. Don't let it slide, you'll be regretting it. 'Cause I know that you know that I know what you want. 'Cause we're getting too old for this now. So if you want to get close, you're gonna have to put your drink down, 'cause it's gonna take both hands to handle the truth. I've been waiting all life long just to do this with you, to be here with you. All right, that's All Life Long. Thank you. I know y'all like that tune, so. And I figured, like I said, after I play a super sad song, I feel like I gotta make it up to everybody. So, because things are crazy enough as it is, I know. So, good news, it's 2:15, which means it's time to get Dean Madonia up here on the screen. Heck to the yeah! I gotta do my dance here, and we'll be going. My dance includes just turning down this light, which is extremely bright. Okay, very nice. Oh, thank you, Dean. I'm nervous today because you're like super pro. Okay, let me get you up here.
Cassandra,
Hello, Dean. How are you?
good. How about yourself?
Not too shabby, not too shabby. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here.
It's not that great out here in Michigan, but
No, oh no.
plus I'm in my basement slash dungeon recording area. It's a little dark and gloomy down here.
Oh, I know. Hey, I can hear you great, but I can't see you yet.
Oh,
Let's see.
maybe I pushed the wrong thing.
I have the beautiful picture of your pup. Oh, there we go. There you are.
Hello.
Now we can see the dungeon. Awesome.
I just cleaned up some of the stuff from the background because there was tarps all over from the big leak that I had here.
Ah,
Soaked a whole bunch of stuff in my studio, which is pretty much what you're always hoping for when you have a bunch of electronics, that a bunch of water will fall on them.
oh no.
I got pretty lucky, but it's a lot of damage.
I'm so sorry.
It's
On,
life.
on top of everything already. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So
yeah,
your song sounded great. I didn't realize that you had already started. I was waiting for a link, and then my wife's like, "Aren't you watching it?" I was like, "Oh, yeah." I just turned it on. So
no, I like to do the first 15 minutes so that your people can take their time populating and getting online.
well,
So,
my people probably were like making their own beer, getting ready, making a quick. Let me whip up a quick craft beer here for this show.
exactly, exactly. As we kind of touched on during our sound check, like I know you via kind of people in Michigan, but would you like to introduce yourself to the folks who don't know you at all?
Sure. My name is Dean Madonia. I've been playing since I was 6 years old, and playing professionally, technically, meaning getting paid since I was 8, because I was one of those kids with one of those dads that used to drag me to bars. So, oh, it's a kid in a bar. That was me. But I played my dad's. He took me to his job once, and at the Ramada Inn in Kalamazoo. He was playing piano there. He
Ah,
went on break, and I was bored because I was a kid and I'm in a bar. And he had the bartender make me a Shirley Temple, and that was my drink of choice, which is just basically like grenadine with some cherry
favorite.
syrup in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was bored, and I was like, "Can I play the piano?" And he's like, "Oh no, you can't." And the bartender's like, "Yeah, let him play." So I went over there, and it was a spin it, so it was over my head. I couldn't see the crowd, so I wasn't even scared at all. And I just started playing, and some guy came up and gave me $1. And back then, that was 100 gumballs. 100. I was like, "Yeah, count me in." And ever since then, I've been playing. So
Awesome.
I'm fortunate to have, until this last year, I've made my entire living basically from performing and writing.
Yeah, me too. And I am also the child of a gigging musician. My dad is watching, I think.
Hi,
So
Dad.
yeah, and my mom too.
Oh yeah.
But my dad, until I was born, played in bands and stuff like that too. So as soon as I first saw a piano, they were like, "Well, piano lessons for you." So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
My dad and I took piano lessons at the same time, and
cool.
he was actually pretty good, but he started pretty late, and he didn't really listen to anything they said. He just wanted to learn how to do certain things, and that's what he did. And he was very flowery, like lots of rolls. That was the
Mm.
thing back then for him, anyhow. So
Oh, cool, cool. Well, so
that,
happy to have you on here.
yeah, I'm happy to be.
Do you want to kick off with a song or a story about a song or what's on your mind?
Um, yeah, well, I'll do this song. So just for, I'm not going to go into all the details, but I've had a lot of stuff coming up lately, and I wasn't even aware of this until a couple days ago. I was like, oh yeah, here's something on my calendar. I got, oh yeah, I should have probably practiced for that. But that's how it always is. Like, if you ask me to play Brown Eyed Girl or Piano Man, no problem. One of my songs, I never get to play them. So I've chosen some mostly older songs that I probably have muscle memory for, and hopefully it works out. This song is called The Big Crunch. It's based on an idea that was in the original publication of A Brief History of the Universe by Stephen Hawking. He took it out of the newer version because it's a dumb idea, But in the original version, he had an idea of the big crunch, since the universe was supposedly created by a big bang and it's ever expanding, but eventually it's going to get tired of expanding. It's going to get sucked back in to a big crunch. And he said it was possible that time could run backwards. And I wrote this song on Thanksgiving Day. I think it was 1997. It was the last song for the CD Deep Sky. And I had that in my head that I wanted more of a space theme. I had a whole like space theme on there. And I was like, how can I make something about the big crunch? And then all of a sudden it just came to me, and I wrote this song in like 20 minutes. I still don't know how to play it after all these years, but here's the song, The Big Crunch.
Awesome.
4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. When time is running backwards and the earth spins in reverse, history repeat itself, will everything seem worse? Will we still be wondering about the chicken and the egg? Will I get a milk bone when my dog sits up and begs? Will we take the paper and make it back into trees? Make big ones out of little ones, grow sweaty in the breeze. Will I spit out gumballs and put them in my bank? And what about that water, beer, and coffee that I drank? Stephen Hawking tells us that it's more than just a hunch. Effect will precede cause as we're sucked into the big crunch. Stephen Hawking tells us that it's more than just a hunch. Effect will precede cause as we're sucked into the big crunch. Will we see dead friends and relatives grow stronger every day? Still work all those hours when we've already been paid? Will we put back all the ozone? Will we take down every fence? Will revolution number 9 make any more sense? Will Jack Ruby bring back Oswald to bring back JFK? Will there finally be a last time Margaritaville will play? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust will stay the same. But now predestination will always take the blame. Stephen Hawking tells us that it's more than just a hunch. Effect will precede cause as we're sucked into the big crunch. Stephen Hawking tells us that it's more than just a hunch. Effect will precede cause as we're sucked into the big crunch. It's the big crunch. Stephen says 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 the big crunch. It sucks. Stephen says the big crunch. The big crunch.
Well, that's a blast.
You know, I wrote that song in 20 minutes, and that was the one everybody requested for years. It's like I've spent over a year on some songs writing a song. I couldn't figure out what it needed to do, and I'd let it sit and work and rework it. This one, 20 minutes, and it's everybody's favorite. I wish I could. It was like a gift from the universe, you know? That's the best kind.
There you go. Exactly.
But it usually happens when you've been mulling over an idea and you can't figure out how to, and all of a sudden the light goes on and you're like, that's what I need to do with that song.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I typically, so I have my master's in composition. So my MO is typically to sit with an idea for like 6 months and then write it in 2 weeks for a composition. And then same thing with the song, think about it for a long time. And then I'll set a timer for like 45 minutes.
Smart.
And that's it,
Yeah.
So, but it's funny how those things change based on the material too. That song is awesome. By the way, everybody, if you're new to Songwriter Sunday, you can ask Dean questions or give feedback and stuff in the chat too, and I'll facilitate that. So feel free to do that to all the folks watching. Cool.
If anybody wants to hear anything, I doubt it, but or know anything.
Yeah.
So this next song is I had a gig at a bottle club. I don't know if you know what that is. Have you ever been to a bottle club where they don't serve alcohol, theoretically speaking. You bring your own booze in. It's for dry counties usually, or for after hours clubs. You bring your own hooch there, and they put a piece of tape on it with your name, and then they charge you for a setup to drink your own. It's stupid. But anyhow, I got in a bunch of trouble from the IRS because I forgot to file one year. I mean, I don't even know. I was just a dumb rocker, dude. I wasn't even thinking about it. And they garnished my wages, and they gave me like $101 per week of my paycheck to live on, which I couldn't do.
No.
So I was already working 2 jobs a day in 2 different bands, and I'd finish at 2 a.m. and I'd go to this bottle club with my stuff. I had to tear down my whole keyboard rig and a PA and bring it over there, set it all up with this other friend of mine, Greg, that played with me, played there 4 nights a week from like around 4 a.m. till around 6. We had to play for 2 hours. That was the idea. And of course, the bottle club will serve you alcohol. They're just not supposed to. So
Got it.
I think they got raided one day, and that was the end. But this friend of mine, Paul, used to play with Clarence Clemens, among other people. Of course, they're both passed away now. Paul had brain cancer, which is sad, and he passed away quite some years ago. Mm-hmm. But I'd see him all the time. He and this other guy, Griff, who was the sound man for them, would come in all the time and watch me, and I'd watch him, and he was just sitting at the bar, and biding his time, real quiet. Nice guy, very nice guy. But I wrote this song inspired by him. On the way home, I saw one of the bartenders from another job that I played walking home, and I gave her a ride, and she had a kid there by itself, and that was like the last time I ever talked to her, because I was like, wow, what a mess. So this song is not really about the two of them, but they're in the song. It's called Walking the Solitude.
Okay. Awesome.
Tammy's hitching a ride again. She's run out of money. She's run out of friends. She's walking the solitude. The highway is like a river of dreams, rolling on to meet the sky. It's so hard to face them all, watch them pass you by. Well, she's walking the solitude, drowning in a sea of strangers. Paul stands at the bottle club. He just likes to sit and brood, drowning in a sea of strangers. He's lost in his solitude. He's dressed in see-through U2, waiting for life to come around. He's sorting through the broken pieces. He's getting tired of the sound. Well, he's walking the solitude, drowning in a sea of strangers. Walking the solitude, he's walking the solitude. We all want the world to come our way. Hand in hand we go our separate ways, separate ways. Oh, we're walking the solitude, drowning in a sea of strangers. Walk in the solitude, walk in the solitude. There you go, Walk in the Solitude.
Wow. That.
Thank you. From the album Deep Sky.
Yeah.
It's real. It's a real song, you know, it's based on real people. I don't always do that, but.
Yeah, no, that definitely like moved me, especially as you know, a fellow industry person. Kind of, we see all these
Sure.
things that like a lot of people don't see, and people's
Yes.
vulnerabilities that, you know, they can cover up during the day, you know, with makeup or a nice outfit or something like that, and then
Yep.
get a few drinks in them or get them tired enough that, you know, you see the humanity a lot more. I had a friend who, and this isn't like a statement to say anything about what I feel about myself, but somebody once asked me why I was so kind, and I said, I think it's just from playing in bars, honestly.
You really, you know, you get to know a lot of people. I mean, I've worked everything from like 5-star resorts like Boca Beach Club, you know, in Turnberry Isle down in Florida, to like the scummiest biker bar like Smith Brothers and the Quest Lounge in Fort Lauderdale, where like everybody there probably had multiple DUIs and had been in jail a few times. They were probably driving without licenses. And I've sat next to senators and lawyers and doctors and bikers and plumbers, everybody. I mean, I feel like, well, I used to think I had a pretty good handle on what people were like, but apparently this last 4 years has surprised me. I don't know everybody as well as I thought. But
Yes.
I always make up stories when I see somebody at the bar or anywhere. I make up, looks like she's on vacation, probably staying at her parents for Thanksgiving and bored. And so she came out, you know, to get away from them because she doesn't get along with her uncle with his wacky conspiracy theories or whatever. You know, I'll just make up in my head, you know, so it's pretty easy to do. And it's not always fair, but I think I got those two pretty close in their last song.
No, and it's a beautiful song too, with a beautiful melody and great storytelling.
Thank you.
I know you have an extensive set list, so I don't want to take up too much more of your time before we keep cruising. But what's your, you know, because you've done this professionally and you've done this for fun. What is your process? Are you a lyrics first person? Do you write the music first? Do you do it at the same time? You know.
Yes. So when I first started writing, I was I just would come up with an idea, usually probably some chord changes, and I would make up some lyrics that weren't usually that good. You know, I think my first song was about my dog. Beethoven was a good dog. He was faithful and a good dog, and he always understood what I said. Beethoven was loyal, faithful and loyal. He was faithful to his master till the end. That was my first song. It was terrible. But, you know, as the years go by, and then you start trying different things, like in Nashville, lyrics are king. So most people start possibly with like a little hooky kind of cool like chord thing, groove, you know, just to get a feel for how the song's going to feel. And then it's mostly lyrics you work on. And then, you know, you look for the words in the song that you want to weight, you know, like an important word, walk in the solitude. Solitude's the word, right, that I want to weight in that chorus. And, you know, I'm using my $50 chord, not quite, maybe a $25 chord there. But, you know, to weight it, or I make the melody go there. But then when I was in Florida, all those bands were doing like dance tracks. And I worked for John Cicada's production studio with Charles Dye and Tom McWilliams. And we would write the song all in the room at the same time, the whole thing. Like, while I was playing keyboards or guitar, Tom would be programming a drum track. This is kind of how they do it in LA too. Not always, but, you know, the programming everything. and writing the lyrics as we go and recording it. And in 3 hours, you got the whole thing. It's done. You got a demo and everything. So I tried that in Nashville, and they hated that. They're like, we don't do that here, man. You just get yourself, you get G, you know, and you start saying, got to hold those two high, the G and the, what am I thinking? D, right? You got to hold those on there. So it sounds like a mandolin accompanying you. And you gotta make a work tape, they call it, right? And then after you have the work tape, then maybe make a glorified work tape so it's good enough to hand off to a demo house or a demo person, and then they would make a demo of it, and then they send it. It's the most convoluted way to do things. I mean, I don't mind having the work tape. That's a smart idea. But I tried to bust out with programming stuff, and they were freaking out. Then about 10 years later, and I'm still not a famous songwriter, and I can't understand it. I started doing the way they do it, you know, do the work tape, do it. And everybody's like, man, have you heard this guy? He's got a keyboard he brings with him and a little laptop, and he's got beats on there, and they're just getting the whole thing's done like in 3 hours. I'm like, wow, that's really cutting edge. I can't even believe that somebody could do something like that. It was so frustrating being there. There's so many political and inside things you had to know, and it was such a dying market by the time I got there in 2002. So, I mean, I've done it every single way. I do really like, and I've come back to writing something that moves me musically and making a track first, possibly with some lyrics in mind. But I love doing that. I mean, I don't mind writing to lyrics, and I do that too. But I like making tracks and just sit with it and come up with an interesting melody, you know, first. So I've done it every kind of way that you can do it, I think.
That's interesting. That's cool. That's cool. Depending on your, you know, the target for the market.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And if I'm playing guitar, which I don't have as much facility on guitar as I do on keyboards, and I get to the bridge and I don't know what to do, I'm like, I know what to do. Get rid of the guitar, get on the piano. I'm going to come up with something different for the bridge. No problem, you know? And when you're co-writing, you know, also the other thing is in Nashville, it's all co-writing, you know, almost always. I'm not good at everything. I'm not equally good at everything, but I try to fill holes. So if I was writing with you and you're a lyricist and everybody knows that you're a great lyricist, I might have a couple things to add to the lyrics, but I'm going to focus on the music. You know, if I'm writing with 3 people and one of them's an amazing lyricist and the other one's an amazing instrumentalist, I might be more like an editor. I'll just write everything down they're saying and record it. I'm like, oh, what about that idea you had about that guy who slept with his own grandmother and then they killed their dog together on the levee? What about that, you know, or whatever, you know? So
I need to hear that song, by the way, wherever it lives.
Maybe I should write that one. Now I got something to do.
Yeah, perfect.
So cool. Yeah, that's my long answer, which I have a lot of long answers to short questions. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I do this because it fascinates me.
Okay.
And I know a lot of the people watching are here because it fascinates them too. So
awesome.
That's why it's like I'm not trying to do like a pop radio thing where I've got 500 people watching. I want people watching who care about this. So don't. No,
I appreciate it. But I appreciate you having me on too. I appreciate that.
Oh.
And you sounded great. I only heard the one song, but.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying my best. I wanted to be a songwriter and then ended up in music school, and so trying to reconcile the two this year.
And then dueling pianos, which can really suck the life out of you. I know it's fun for the people in the crowd, but after you play Piano Man with great enthusiasm as if it was your first time, for the 1,000th time or the 10,000th time, it really gets to be taxing. It's rough on your voice too.
Yeah, and actually for me, dueling stuff, it's actually, that's why maybe I'm leaning into the songwriting stuff this year, is because I actually love playing people's favorite songs and seeing them light up. It's just for me the late hours and the drama that comes with working.
Yeah, and it's nice, but I always feel like I play somebody else's song and I'm taking credit for their work. You know what I mean?
Okay, sure.
That's how I personally, and there are exceptions, like Bob Dylan. I'd probably rather see somebody cover his song than hear him sing it in general. And there's a handful of those kind of guys, but in general, I like to hear the person that wrote the song. If you go to Nashville and you go to the Bluebird and you hear some of these songs or some of these writers that wrote hit songs that you've known, you hear the stuff that they do that doesn't get cut, that doesn't end up on the radio, that nobody hears unless they were at the Bluebird that night, or if they're a friend of theirs or they watch them play somewhere. I mean, those songs are usually better than the ones that get on the radio, but they're more outside the box, which is what I like, you know.
Me too. Me too. Speaking of which, like, let's get another song going. I'm
Okay.
loving your music, man. What's
Thank
next for you?
This song is from, by the way, those last two songs are from an album called Deep Sky. It's a 1998 release. That was my first solo thing. I had done some stuff with bands, but that was the first solo. This was the second solo CD, which is when I learned how to record and mix not very well. So the CD's kind of shite, and there was a lot of problems with lost files and computer glitches and horrible things. I finally released it. It's got some of my best stuff on it. This is a song I wrote for my wife. It's called What Do You Feel?
Wonderful.
Don't try to guess at our dimensions. Define them till we disappear. No need to guess at my intentions. Only want you near. This is a simple situation. Two flowers reaching for the sun. The garden of our own creation, where two can grow to one, never come undone. What do you feel when you say you love me? More than the words you've learned to say. Speak to the sleeping child inside me, who's been dreaming of this day. Come to love with reservations. Feed your fear and it may walk away. There's a price for hesitation we don't want to pay. Let's look beyond our limitations now that the planting has begun. In the garden of our own creation, two can go to one, never come undone. What do you feel when you say you love me? More than the words you've learned to say. Speak to the sleeping child inside me, who has been dreaming of this day. Let's just run off on intuition, never thinking of an end. Watch our love seed come to fruition, and our love like a little band. What do you feel when you say you love me? More than the words you've learned to say. who has been dreaming of this day. Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you.
Can I
Thank
ask you who you were like listening to, or who you gravitated to around the time that you wrote that song?
You know, I listen to, one of my main influences is progressive rock music, and I'm not playing anything that's progressive today because I have ideas that are way beyond my ability to perform, especially and the prog stuff is so like complicated, like you have to have a whole band to pull it off. It just isn't going to sound right without it in most of the songs like that I write. But I like progressive rock. I was listening to probably like a lot of believe it or not, Tonic and Toad the Wet Sprocket and that kind of stuff back then. Seal, Tori Amos. I saw that you said that was. I'm a huge fan of Tori Amos. I mean, I love Little Earthquakes is one of my favorite albums.
Top
it's
albums.
Just Under the Pink, great albums, you know.
Yes.
I was listening to like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan and Jeff Buckley.
Oh, sure.
And it's like half the people I like die. Kevin Gilbert. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Not him.
He used to be married to Sheryl Crow.
Okay.
Look him up. His albums, Thud and The Shaming of the True, which was released posthumously, are both genius works of possibly the best performer and writer and producer and mixer all in one that I've heard in my life. I mean, that guy was amazing. He's dead too. Everybody I like dies, it seems like. So,
what's his name one more time?
Kevin Gilbert.
Okay. Dropping him in the chat for anybody. I know we have some curious folks out there.
Yeah, he was really great. That album, Shaming of the True, is basically a disgruntled person named Johnny Virgil who plays this here guitar and he's going to be a star and all this, and it goes from there through his whole career, and then at the end it recaps with a bookend of a different version of that song. And is Johnny Virgil, and he used to play guitar, and
oh wow,
you still hear him on late night radio. It's really sad. I mean, if you're in a bad mood, it's like reading a Cormac McCarthy novel. It's going to hurt. So make sure you're up before you start that one.
For sure. And then real quick, around this time at the show, I like to ask, and I do want to get at least one or two more of your tunes in here because they're so awesome.
Oh, sure.
But
sure.
I want to ask you to tell folks who are watching, and you're getting some lovely feedback here. Go back later and read it.
Oh, good. Okay.
But
Thank you.
How can folks support you personally? How can they support your art? What can they do for you?
Well, I always tell. I mean, nobody buys anything anymore. I've got stuff on Amazon or CD Baby. I mean, I some of it's out of stock. I have a lot of stuff out of print. I have 8 CDs are available online. On all of the streaming services. I can't know if I can remember all of them. Deep Sky, The Light of Reason, Shadow to Shadow, Dean Madonia's Frankenstein, which is a concept album about the story of Frankenstein's monster as told by the monster still alive after 200 years.
And I saw the artwork for that you did. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And he's telling the story to a genetic researcher who's about to make the first human clone of herself. Ooh. I was going to do a huge stage thing and everything, but it's always a money thing. This is basically dueling pianos supports my music habit, and the money I make as a writer is very small. Listen to my stuff on streaming, buy it if you can find it, download it on, Apple Music or, iTunes. I don't even know if they have that. Can you even download stuff on iTunes anymore? I don't know. I think it's all Apple Music. I don't even know. All I know is that if everybody in the world listens to my stuff 24/7, I'll probably make another $10 from streaming. So I appreciate I appreciate your patronage.
Well, and then we have the Venmo at the top too, and the PayPal is also your name at yahoo.com, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. So if you're vibing with us today and you got a few bucks to throw around, all of us musician folks have been out of work for nearly a year, so we do appreciate that.
Actually, because I had surgery at the beginning of the year, I've been out of work for over a year now.
Got it.
Because just the time I was recovering from the surgery, COVID hit. I think I played like 2 weekends, and that was it. Done. You know, so it's been pretty crazy. Burning through the savings, what little there is, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything's appreciated. But you know, I had a great gift given to me this last year, and I'm feeling thankful. So if you don't have the money, don't even worry about it. This is back to everybody else, you know.
I just like to ask because sometimes people surprise me.
No, appreciate it. Well, if there's any millionaires out there that, you know, want to buy me the Schecter, what is it, the Blackjack Solo 2 guitar, send it on. Looks pretty sweet. So I talked about that Frankenstein. I should do at least one song from that.
For sure.
I think today's the day to do it. I was going to do another one of them, but I think I'm going to do this one. I have to look at I pulled up lyrics. It's so sad that I can't remember my own songs.
Well, as you pull them up, I will let everybody know that you've written over 500 songs. So I would not, you know, though we learn thousands of songs for work, I would not expect you to.
I ran through these once this morning. I haven't played any of these songs for over a year at least. So, you know, I don't really know how they go anymore.
No,
but you don't know how they go either, so that works good.
But wonderful to hear them, nonetheless.
So this song is called Fool's Gold.
Okay.
And, you know, people say silence is golden. I tried in the Frankenstein album, I used the monster as a foil for a lot of my anger about social issues. So there's a lot of deeper meanings to all of the songs. You know, whether you like Julian Assange or Robert Snowden, I personally think they're heroes. You know, there needs to be more whistleblowers that hold the government and corporations accountable for their actions. And I think silence is golden unless it hurts. You know, if you don't speak up, if it hurts somebody, then it's not golden at all. It's fool's gold. That's the name of the song, Fool's Gold. If I can remember how it goes. How does it go? Oh, yeah. This is the part where Victor Frankenstein has gotten a letter from his family that his brother's been killed. And he realizes after he gets to Geneva that it was probably the monster. Darkness is falling as I make my way to Geneva. I turn to a family in need. Thunder, laughter, mocking all of my trials. The heavens are weeping with me. Dark silhouette still burning when I close my eyes. Am I coming undone? Could he be the one? And is he more guilty than I? Who's to blame when the righteous have fallen and no one said? Silence kills. The truth is stilled. You've sold your soul for fool's gold. For fool's gold. trusting the system to reach out and punish the wicked, clearing the name of the true. Selfish, speechless, no one would ever believe me. Forgive me if they only knew. Fangs of remorse have chosen my course. Broken can never be joined. Righteous vengeance with all its attendants, I'll pay him back in his own coin. Who's to blame when the righteous are fallen? No one said anything. All the good in silence is worthless when silence kills. The truth is stilled. You've sold your soul for fool's gold. For fool's gold. Well, my heart is a stone. I'm left alone to cry for the lives I can't save. My faith has been shattered, so what does it matter? My secret lies safe in the grave. Who's to blame when the righteous are fallen and no one said anything? Oh, the girl in silence is worthless when silence kills. The truth is stilled. You've sold your soul for fool's gold. For fool's gold. For fool's gold. For fool's gold.
All right, I have a favor to ask now.
Sure.
So this year is my 30th birthday, and I need you to get me a birthday present where you either stream or do that whole album live.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got some videos of performance in Nashville at the where is it? At the Basement in Nashville, and also another one at the Commodore, stripped down version of it. But I've wanted to do it. There's 29 tracks. It's a double CD. So
I think this is a good year to do that, to bring it back.
You think so?
Yeah.
We'll see. I've been working on it for a long time. I had a theater, the Dark Horse Theater in Nashville, rented out. Already gave them a deposit, and I had a filmmaker making video for some multimedia stuff that was going to play over. I was doing a graphic novel, whole bunch of stuff, and it was lots of problems, mostly financial, and I had to bail on it. And I just about had a nervous breakdown, like canceling that. I really wanted to do it. When I got here, I really wanted to do it at the State Theater. But looking into it, it's $10,000 just to rent the theater.
Yikes.
So it probably cost at least $20,000 to put this thing on. I've wanted to do it. I had dancers. I have a whole idea of how the stage thing, kind of like my friend recently deceased last weekend, actually, Brian Yoder, is the one that gave me the idea for the concept album. And he also was telling me I should look at the War of the Worlds live stage production. And I kind of wanted to do something like that. But it's costly. It's so expensive. But I feel like if I could just do it one time the way that I have in my mind and film it, I could probably book every year at Halloween. I could probably book a bunch of theaters and make my whole nut just in that 1.5 months, just the way that Trans-Siberian Orchestra owns Christmas, I could own Halloween. And I would love to do it, but
I support
if there's
that.
any backers out there that own a theater and a film company, there's another thing you could do for me. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Let me do some pondering. I have a couple ideas, so let's stay in touch about that.
Sure. All right.
So if you have the time, I'm okay to go till 3:05 if you want to sneak in one more song.
Sure. Let me think here. What should I do?
And then I have to go watch the Browns win.
Good luck to you. I'm a sports ball kind of guy, so I hope your team wins.
I'm not usually
I usually root for whoever my friends don't want to win, but I won't do that to you. But I usually root for the other team just to be a jerk. But that's just me.
That's okay. I don't care too much about it.
Okay, I think we talked yesterday during soundcheck. That I've struggled with depression for my whole life until I ended up thinking I was going to die when I got cancer, and I didn't think I was going to wake up from it. And I have to say, it took 58 years, but I have gotten my brain into this place where I'm happy, like generally happy most of the time, not with everything that's going on, but personally. And I appreciate my family and my friends and my music, and I appreciate my studio. This song was written before that, when I first moved here and I was feeling kind of down. First brutal Michigan winter. It's called Down.
Okay.
Every favor, hanging on to my last friend. Seems like I've seen this show, and I hate the way it ends. Must be a big fan of The Circle, moving back to my hometown. I found a place that really gets me down. I'm not looking for a savior to try to bring me round. We all get lost sometimes, and I'm not looking to be found. From the bottle to the ocean, so many different ways to drown. I'm gonna put these feelings down. I could rise above this heavy situation the way I have 1,000 times before. Running through so many things in my life, there always seems to be one more. Don't know how I keep on falling, still keep landing on my feet. Come through it fairly well, but I'm feeling kind of beat. My mind's been multimedia polluted, almost buried in its sound. I've come a long, long way, come a long way down, down. I'm down, I'm down. Down from the album My Calliope, which is my most recent new release last November 19th, My Calliope.
Wonderful. Hey, ladies,
Thank you
gentlemen,
very much.
non-binary unicorns and spiritual beings alike, Dean Madonia, y'all. Thank you so much for coming on today and talking about your
Thank
music
you.
and your life. Let's stay connected. I have some thoughts, but
All right. I'm always about the thoughts.
awesome sauce. Thank you again.
Thanks for having me, Cassandra. You sounded wonderful as well. And thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
My pleasure entirely. Take care.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And to those of you hanging on for the last few seconds here, next Sunday at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, I have the low-key Chicago legend Bill Larkin on the show. And he is one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. He is the house musician at the Green Mill for the Paper Machete program, if you're familiar with that. I am honored to be his colleague in normal times at Pete's Dueling Pianos in Rosemont, and he he kind of started Howl at the Moon Chicago, so he's kind of a big deal. So I insist you come back next Sunday at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. or noon, whatever your time zone is, to check out Bill Larkin as well. Thanks again to Dean. Thanks again to my husband John for letting me do my thing. And thanks to all of you for watching and supporting original music. This is so cool. It's always the highlight of my week. And I hope to see you next week. I'm going to do this till I run out of singer-songwriters. So, I don't know, maybe till I die. If you are a songwriter or you know a songwriter who might enjoy this experience, definitely connect with me. I'm Cassandra Kaczor. I'm pretty Googleable, if you will. So, thank you again from the bottom of my heart, and I hope you are all staying well, staying happy, and being kind to one another. Have a beautiful rest of your Sunday, and go Browns. I don't know.